Recently, I saw a video of an NFL utility cart barreling down the field with no driver that suddenly strikes like five or six guys, and one of the guys gets smashed into the cart and ends up in the driver's seat on the cart holding the steering wheel. He really got himself into that situation. He was just thrown into it. And sometimes I relate to this guy. Sometimes I feel like this guy because I feel like this is how life feels as being a human. We kind of get hit by it, but then we're in the driver's seat suddenly. And we're in the driver's seat, and there are some things in our control and there are some things that aren't. But for the most part, we're steering it along. And as we're growing up, we more and more become like this guy in the utility cart. Because when we're younger, our situation's really determined by a bunch of outside factors that we have no control over. And it gives us this ability to kind of complain about the life we have and be justified in the complaints and, really have the life not be in our control because we're forced to go to school. We're forced to be with our certain friends that we're with in school, and we're kind of contained in that way. But as we grow older, we can't complain. There's less validity to any type of complaining or any type of complaining at all, because we become more and more the creator of our own life. The further we grow up, I believe, the further we actually do choose our financial status. We do choose our relationships. We do choose our friends. We choose how we live and where we live. And all these possibilities just explode and open up. And so there's really no justification about complaining when you're creating the thing that you're complaining about. And so the interesting thing about the utility cart of life that strikes us is that it doesn't stop moving. There's no real way to stop it, and it's always moving and it's always headed in a direction. And we have our hands on the steering wheel to a certain extent. So we're always steering it in a certain direction and creating a certain life. I think there are two choices that we have. We can choose one or the other, whether consciously or unconsciously. We do make this choice, which is to accept the creator position that we have just been put in our life. We accept the fact that we were hit by a golf cart and now we're steering it, and that we are actually doing the steering. Or we can do the victim game where we renounce responsibility for everything and then can start to complain about things that we're actually creating ourselves. And so in order to have a happy life, you have to become the creator consciously. You have to realize that you are in the creator seat, the creator position. This is interesting because it brings about the question, what are you going to create? How do you embody the creator position fully? Or should you? Or what should you do? Or what should you even want? Do you know what you want, and do you actually want the things that you want? And if you had them, would your life really be that different on a core level than it is right now? It feels better to accept responsibility for everything, to accept responsibility for your emotions, for your friendships, for your finances, for your living situation. It feels much better to do that. With this freedom, this extra mental, emotional, and energy that I have, energy capital, emotional capital, and brain power that I have, what am I going to do with all of that that's going to be meaningful? Because it's not like there's something out there that I could get that I really want that's going to change my life and make me totally happy, right? And I hope you can relate to this position. Hopefully you're in a position where this makes sense for you. And so I think the answer to that is to step in to our creator role more fully and to make something of ourselves and give it. So that's actually the reason why I'm creating this YouTube channel. It's not like I had some sort of dying urge, like, I need a YouTube channel right now. I need it. And then I was just super thirsty to start filming myself and put it on the internet. I didn't have that. I more realized that there's no better way that I can spend my extra emotional bandwidth and mental bandwidth than to try and create something that I'm giving to other people. That's about you watching this. That's about helping other people. Because in a selfish way, by creating something and giving it away to other people, we reinforce our position of having enough. And we reinforce the feeling that we are in excess and that we are in abundance. So And anyone can do this because creating something is totally free. Using your creative powers for the most part is free to help somebody, or even if it's not creative, to just help someone in general with something that you already know, you're giving to them, and it reinforces the feeling and the reality that your cup is full. And so it doesn't feel good to create a YouTube channel and help people because you get something from them. It feels good because it reinforces the position that you are empowered and you are the creator and that you have extra to give and that your cup is already full. It like highlights that feeling. Like think for example in math class, say you're good at math and there's this kid named Timmy who was terrible at math and he's always like balled up in the corner of the room. He could barely understand what's happening. Maybe he excelled in a different class, but Timmy, poor little Timmy, couldn't do math for his life, right? I happen to be gifted with math. So when I would help somebody, so imagine you walk over and you help poor little Timmy, and you can just easily drop your knowledge into Timmy in a concise manner that actually helps him understand. This is a really good feeling. It feels really good to help Timmy understand, even though you gain really nothing from it. Or take the example of calling your friend who just went through a breakup, or your friend who's gone through a difficult situation, and you're able to listen to them on the phone, and they're in like just a terrible spot. But because you've been through a similar situation, you can really help them with little to no effort, and you can apply your own knowledge to their situation in a way that lifts them up. And that just feels fucking amazing to just be on the phone. And it's not like you're happy because they're sad. It's like you're happy because you're in a position to give, and it reinforces yourself as whole. And so once you've reached that point where you have extra emotional bandwidth and you've gotten kind of everything you really want, you should, in my view, create something. Now, you might be asking, okay, well, Henry, I just saw your video and I'm ready to make something, but I don't want to make a YouTube channel, so what should I make? I don't know. You should figure that out, though. You should look into your past. What are some things you like? What are some things you're good at? What are some lanes that you could see yourself being successful in? So for me, I could see myself being successful on YouTube, even though there are parts of it that aren't the best, like having to expose myself to hundreds of people with every video. But I suggest you consider this deeply and you find some lane you can succeed in and which you can provide something creatively, and you just start working on growing that part of yourself where you're providing for other people. And it feels good not because you wanted to make something, not because you really wanted to even help anybody that badly, like it wasn't some sort of bad desire that you had. It feels good because it reinforces your position as the creator, as the driver of the utility cart. Let me know how it went in the comments, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.